The voice of moral obligation, which men call duty, is the hardest, the most exacting taskmaster in the world. For he demands the sacrifice of everything the world holds dear. And he chooses his servants from the ranks of the unlikely ones. His requirements are best known to himself, and he never makes a mistake in his choice. For the secret workings of the mind and heart lie before him, like an open book, and he is not to be deceived by external appearances. He exacts implicit obedience and asks you to leave results, rewards, compensations in his hands. And what they are, only those know, the unlikely ones who have been chosen by him and who have responded to his call. The 7 historical visions, which I have selected for the purpose of my book, show us that in the scheme of evolution, God chooses his human instruments without considerations of nationality, time, education, rank, religion, or sex, with the exception of the vision, which converted Paul on his way to Damascus. I have purposefully avoided the use of illustrations from the Bible for obvious reasons. The Bible is too well known. Every Christian family has its Bible. Every thinker, every philosopher, every believer has studied the wonders of the Old and New Testament repeatedly and has weighed them in the light of personal experience, of personal knowledge and conviction. Many in our day have rejected the teaching of inspiration, of divine illumination, and are therefore unimpressed by Bible truths, unconvinced by Bible testimony. But historical events they will accept. The evidence of still existing writings, coins, monuments, cities and buildings they will not reject. Through the intellect and the evidence of the senses, they will be convinced of truths which they have been unable to grasp through mystical intuition. The history of all religions in every part of the world is teeming with these proofs of the existence of unseen powers, guiding the destinies of man, if he will but examine them with an open mind. In the following 7 historical visions, we are struck by the extraordinary diversity of gifts and powers possessed by the chosen instruments. 1. Paul, student and orator, merciless persecutor of the Christians, is converted to Christianity and becomes an apostle of the Christian faith through a vision on the way to Damascus. The Christian church is revived and saved by his power and influence, and the Bible enriched by the addition of the 14 priceless epistles contributed by him. 2. Constantine the Great, the mighty Roman emperor and pagan worshipper, is converted to the Christian faith by a wondrous sign in the heavens, through which the Christian church is established as state religion, and the fall of paganism in Europe is accomplished. The Empress Helena, mother of Constantine the Great, by birth a simple daughter of the people, through circumstances exalted to the highest rank, has a vision in which the cross of Christ is revealed to her, where it lies buried on Golgotha. She, accompanied by her son, undertakes a pilgrimage to Palestine, where many holy sites are discovered by them. These sites they mark by the erection of many costly monuments and buildings of extraordinary beauty, which are visited by Christian pilgrims from far and near. 600 years later, these pilgrimages give rise to the so-called Holy Wars, the Crusades. Peter of Amiens, a French military officer who leaves the army to become an ascetic of the most pronounced and fanatical type, has a vision on a pilgrimage to Palestine, in which he claims to have been visited by Christ himself, who commanded him to return to Western Europe with an appeal to church and state for help for the persecuted Christians in Palestine. He obeys, and the result of his mission is the organization of the first crusading expedition. Bartholomew, an unknown pilgrim in the first crusade, declares that Christ has appeared to him in a vision, revealing the spot to him in a church in Antioch where the Holy Lance lies buried, with which his side was pierced on the cross on Golgotha. On taking up the stones on the spot indicated, a lance is found indeed. The exhausted crusaders, inspired with new enthusiasm by the possession of this sacred weapon, successfully storm the beleaguering enemy and are enabled to proceed to Jerusalem. In the struggle which ensues for the possession of the Holy Land during the next 175 years, this successful crusade is followed by 6 others, and nearly 7 million Christian lives are lost, while the entire course of Christian history is changed. Nicholas of Bale, a rich youth, has been educated as a man of the world and is on the point of marriage with a lady of noble rank. On the eve of his wedding day, he is commanded in a vision to give up his bride, to withdraw from the world, and to dedicate his life to the service of God. In the seclusion into which he instantly retires, he is led to form a secret bond of the Friends of God, which organization grows incredibly and becomes one of the most important movements in laying the foundation for the Reformation. He is burnt at the stake at Vienna during the First Inquisition. 7. Joan of Arc, a simple shepherd maiden of Burgundy, is called in a vision to save her country from foreign dominance. At the head of the French army, she achieves a series of brilliant victories and delivers France from the English yoke. She is burnt at Reims at the stake by her enemies as a witch and heretic. We shall meet these fascinating personalities again in the course of this story, and have merely introduced them to the reader in this way to emphasize the statement made above, that God chooses his instruments from the ranks of the unlikely ones, and not as we would choose.